Prince William has finally snapped. Enough is enough. He has told friends he will strip Meghan Markle of the HRH title.
What happens when the royal rebels, who thought they had beaten the system, suddenly find that same system closing in from every side? Right now, London is not just buzzing with another palace rumour. Something much bigger is building, and the pressure around Buckingham Palace feels heavier than anyone expected. This is not a normal royal headache. This is not another soft headline that fades after one news cycle. This feels like a political storm forming right under Westminster's roof, and if the whispers are true, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle may be staring at the one fight they cannot charm, brand, or talk their way out of. For years, critics have accused Harry and Meghan of treating royal life like a streaming drama, serious when it benefits them, painful when it sells, and forgotten when it becomes inconvenient. They stepped away from the working royal machine, traded palace duties for Hollywood lights, and swapped quiet service for interviews, documentaries, memoirs, and major media deals. But now, the spotlight they chased may have turned against them. That warm camera glow has started to feel more like a harsh interrogation light, aimed straight at the titles that keep the Duke and Duchess image alive. According to insider chatter, the UK Parliament is not just gossiping about the Sussexes anymore. Lawmakers are reportedly discussing real moves, real legal pressure, and a very real threat to remove the royal titles that still carry so much weight in their public brand. And the sharpest irony is this: it may not be the crown coming for them this time. It may be democracy itself. For a couple who once said they wanted freedom, this could become the most expensive version of freedom they ever imagined.
I did think it would happen. If Harry and Meghan are watching, they should be incredibly concerned, because if it's this simple to take away Prince Andrew's titles, one day it could be this easy to take away Harry and Meghan's titles.
No palace shine, no automatic royal status, no Your Grace energy floating around every deal and appearance. Just two public figures living in California, trying to hold on to the royal link that critics say has kept their image powerful long after they walked away from official duty. But this is where it gets even more brutal. This does not look like a simple act of revenge from the throne. This looks like Parliament stepping forward to do what King Charles has not done publicly: draw a hard line. And once that line is crossed, there may be no clean way back. Because now the question is not just, will Harry and Meghan lose their titles? The colder question is, when does the pressure become too strong to stop? Imagine waking up one morning and realising that the monarchy did not even need to strike first, because Parliament found a way to move the pieces without waiting for the palace. That is the kind of quiet shock now building in Britain. Behind Westminster's grand walls, lawmakers are reportedly preparing for the unthinkable, stripping Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of the titles that have helped keep their royal image alive. And the stunning part? They may not even need King Charles to personally approve every step of it. For centuries, Parliament rarely dared to touch royal privilege unless history forced its hand. Royal titles were treated as sacred, wrapped in tradition, status, and ancient rules. They existed above the noise of ordinary politics. But now, patience inside the establishment appears to be cracking like fine china dropped on a marble floor.
But wanting to exploit their royal titles, I think it stinks. Let them go off and be, celebrities. That's fine. But don't do it in the name of our royal family.
Prince Harry, Meghan Markle and their children could be set to lose their royal titles.
So trust me, Harry and Meghan right now should be very afraid, because it is a matter of when, not if.
What started as private frustration has turned into a louder public question. If someone uses royal titles for influence, opportunity, and profit while publicly criticising the very institution those titles came from, why should those titles remain untouched? That is the real twist. This is not only palace drama anymore. It is not just family tension, brotherly heartbreak, or another round of emotional royal fallout. This is constitutional pressure dressed in polite language, and the smile on its face makes it even more dangerous. A growing group of MPS is said to be pushing the idea of reform that would separate royal titles from people who treat them like brand merchandise. To them, the monarchy's future depends on protecting the meaning of royal identity before it becomes just another celebrity label, and Harry and Meghan are standing right in the middle of that argument. Behind the polished speeches, careful manners, and respectful debate, one question keeps echoing through Parliament's halls. If two people can turn royal legacy into celebrity currency, then what does royal even mean anymore? And what makes it even more shocking is the belief that some powerful figures inside palace circles may quietly welcome this political uprising. This road to a title showdown did not appear overnight. It has been paved by years of chaos, headlines, emotional claims, interviews, and media projects that even a Hollywood writer might have called too dramatic. What began as a modern royal love story
Only given to working royals, senior members of the royal family, because it denotes a level of respect in the public, and also it's not a financial thing. Working royals do not profit. They do not use their names to make money. It's an honour to have an HRA.
slowly became a global soap opera watched by millions. One explosive interview pulled private palace pain into public view. One tell-all memoir turned family disputes into worldwide debate. Then came streaming specials, public speeches, podcasts, and constant analysis. Suddenly, royal family tension was not just being whispered about behind closed doors, it was being watched, clipped, shared, mocked, and replayed in 4K. Every time the dust seemed ready to settle, another match was struck. Claims about emotional neglect, criticism of royal rules, arguments over security, and attacks on old protocols kept the story alive. Critics argue that Harry and Meghan said they wanted distance, yet their biggest public moments kept circling back to the very family name they supposedly left behind. That is what wore Westminster down. Lawmakers watched royal dignity become material for comedy shows, gossip panels, social media fights, and streaming platforms. To many in government, the monarchy is not just a family with expensive buildings and old titles. It is part of Britain's identity, part of its image, and part of its history. So when that image started looking fragile, mocked, and monetized, the title question became more than a personal issue. It became damage control. The monarchy's public image had been stretched, questioned, and sold back to the public in pieces, and Parliament may now be deciding that enough is enough. But while politicians prepare their next move in public, the deeper chess game may be unfolding behind palace walls.
At the same moment as the public, and his reaction was instant dread. His stomach dropped. He thought titles were untouchable. Now he's not so sure.
And the quietest player on the board is reportedly Prince William himself. Forget the calm smiles, the polished handshakes, and the steady royal charm. Insiders whisper that the future king has had enough. After years of headlines dragging the monarchy through mud, William's patience reportedly cracked long before Parliament's did. Unlike King Charles, who has often seemed to keep one door open for reconciliation, William is said to be approaching the situation like a mission. Not loud, not emotional in public, not messy, just controlled, focused, and strategic. He is reportedly building quiet understanding with people who share one goal: protect the crown before more damage is done. And according to political whispers, William may have been far more influential than people realise. Meetings that look casual, dinners that never make headlines, silence that says more than a palace statement ever could. To William, this is not just about anger, it is about restoration. Every time Harry goes public with another painful revelation, the image of a steady future king takes another hit. Every private family moment turned into public content leaves another mark. Behind William's calm exterior, there may be serious calculation. Remove the distractions, clean the slate, rebuild the monarchy's credibility before he inherits the full weight of the crown. But there is also a darker emotional layer here. Some believe this is personal too. Years of strained trust, private messages, exposed family moments, and pain turned into public material have left scars. William may never say that out loud, but palace watchers know the wounds are not small. And if Parliament moves forward, it will not just be seen as a legal decision. It may be remembered as William's quiet victory. No shouting, no dramatic palace attack, no messy family confrontation. Just one cold political move that resets the board before his reign begins. For Meghan Markle, though, this is not just a royal scandal. It is a brand crisis, and a serious one. Every major headline, glossy profile, luxury conversation, and media appearance has revolved around one powerful phrase: the Duchess of Sussex. That title is not just decoration. It has become part of her identity, her market value, and her global calling card. But now that title sits under political threat, and the woman once praised by supporters for controlling her own narrative may finally be facing a story she cannot fully control. Sources close to the Montecito world are described as tense, with legal advisors, brand consultants, and PR minds allegedly scrambling to imagine Meghan's future without the Duchess label attached to her name. That is not a small change. That is a whole image shift. The elegant royal mystique that helped sell her to streaming giants, fashion circles, and global media could start to fade. She built a public persona around the idea of modern royalty, relatable but regal, independent but still royal, outside the palace but still carrying its shine. Take away the title, and critics say the picture changes fast. What remains is Meghan, a public figure with fame and influence. Yes, but without the royal gloss that made every move feel bigger. And in the world of branding, that difference matters. Behind the curated smiles, polished speeches, and carefully managed appearances, tension is said to be rising. Deals connected to royal identity could suddenly look less attractive. New ventures may lose their sparkle. Even her humanitarian image, the one meant to stand above the monarchy, could feel shakier without the royal frame around it. To her critics, this would feel like poetic justice. To her supporters, it would look like a political attack. But to Meghan herself, it may feel like an existential threat, because for the first time, her crown is not simply slipping in public opinion, it is being challenged through the system. And the only person who may be more desperate to stop it is Prince Harry, because behind the polished PR statements, behind the calm public appearances, and behind the controlled smiles, he knows this fight could threaten the last royal thread still holding their public identity together. Prince Harry may be keeping his face steady in public, but behind closed doors, insiders claim the pressure is hitting hard. The royal rebel who once said he found freedom could now be facing the brutal thought of losing the title that helped keep him powerful on the global stage. According to Palace Whispers, Harry is not taking it lightly. Rumours say he has made private calls, not just through aides or official representatives, but personally reaching back to old palace contacts. Some even claim he has tried to get quiet messages to King Charles, hoping his father might step in before Parliament moves too far. One insider described him as emotionally cornered, realising that without Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, his influence outside the royal world could shrink fast. The book deals, interviews, speeches, and spotlight all look different when he becomes just another celebrity with royal baggage attached to his name. But what reportedly haunts Harry most is not only the money or fame, it is the meaning behind the title. Losing it would mean losing one of his last official links to the royal world that shaped him, the institution tied forever to Princess Diana's memory and to the pain that followed him for years. For Harry, that thought is said to be unbearable. Those close to the situation claim he is caught between anger and guilt. Anger because he may feel punished for speaking out, and guilt because deep down he may know the interviews, memoir, and public tension pushed the monarchy into a corner. But the calls from California may be too late. Parliament is not moved by emotion, It moves through votes, pressure, legal process, and political timing. While Harry reportedly searches for understanding, lawmakers may be preparing to make history, and the consequences might not stop with him. Because now, the question could reach his children too. While Harry and Meghan fight to protect their own titles, an even more delicate issue is rising in London. What happens to Archie and Lilibet? They are too young to understand royal politics, but their futures are already tangled in it. If Parliament pushes through reform, the young prince and princess could see their royal status challenged before they even understand what any of it means. That is what makes this part so sensitive. This is no longer just about adults, interviews, media deals, and palace arguments. It touches the next generation. Traditionally, titles are passed down through bloodline, wrapped in history, ceremony, and old rules. But this new proposal challenges that foundation directly. Some lawmakers argue that royal privilege should belong to those who serve the monarchy, not those who live outside it, while still benefiting from the name. With the Sussex family rooted in California, critics say the children's royal standing has become more symbolic than active. Supporters of reform argue that titles should not be treated like luxury labels without duty behind them. Harsh, yes, but in Westminster, that argument is getting louder. The irony is painful. Harry once said he left the UK to protect his family from royal pressure, yet now, that same choice could be used to question whether his children should remain tied to royal status at all. What was meant to protect them could become the very reason their royal place is challenged. For Meghan, this is reportedly the most painful part. The idea that her children could grow up without the royal status they were born with may feel like the ultimate punishment. Not just politics, not just another headline, a personal hit aimed straight at the family identity she worked so hard to build. Behind palace gates, even some sympathetic royals are said to feel uneasy. Changing children's titles crosses an invisible line between family and institution. But make no mistake, if Parliament follows through, Archie and Lilibet's official royal standing could be changed, and that is when this family drama becomes royal history. Inside Westminster, whispers have reportedly turned into strategy. The phrase floating through government circles is the one bill solution, a single sweeping piece of legislation that could reset the monarchy's framework in one decisive strike. And near the top of that list sit the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Unlike royal protocol, politics can move fast once momentum builds. Insiders describe the bill as a constitutional clean-up, designed to modernise royal privilege and remove titles from those who no longer represent active service. It would not only affect Harry and Meghan, it could also reclassify other royals whose titles no longer match their duties or public roles. Supporters call it accountability. Critics call it disrespectful. But to lawmakers pushing it forward, this is about proving royal blood does not place anyone above responsibility. What makes this moment so shocking is that the monarchy may not have the power to fully stop it. Parliament could push past royal hesitation, and once that precedent is set, the definition of royalty changes forever. This is not just a bill, it is a message. The monarchy serves the nation, not the other way around. Titles are not meant to be permanent, VIP passes when duty is left behind. And if quiet palace figures are helping this reform from the shadows, then for King Charles, this may already be moving beyond his control. For Charles, this moment is torment. On one side stands the crown, the institution he waited his whole life to lead. On the other stands his son, the same boy who walked behind Diana's coffin, now a man whose interviews and confessions have shaken the family's legacy. Sources close to palace circles describe Charles as torn between love and duty. If he takes a hard stance, he risks looking cold, like a father punishing his own son and daughter-in-law. But if he does nothing, he risks letting Parliament define royal authority in a way the crown cannot control. Behind palace gates, meetings reportedly stretch late into the night. Some advisers urge caution, others push for action. Charles is trapped in a moral storm. Does he defend family, or does he defend the throne? Either choice could cost him trust forever. Perhaps the cruelest truth is that this may not be a battle he can win. Whether Parliament acts or not, the monarchy's future and Charles's relationship with Harry will never be the same. And as Charles hesitates, the machinery of reform keeps turning. Just like that, the story of Harry and Meghan may be nearing its final royal chapter. From wedding bells and palace balconies to lawsuits, interviews, memoirs, and political bills, their journey has gone from fairy tale to cautionary tale. If Parliament follows through, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex could become titles of the past, archived in British history and replaced by a colder reality. The couple who wanted independence might soon get it in full, but not the way they imagined. No more royal rank, no more shield of status, just two people facing the world without the institution they once rejected. And for the monarchy, this could be the reset it has been waiting for. But this royal storm is not over, because while Harry and Meghan face their possible downfall, another royal couple is now under fire. In our next deep dive, we uncover the shocking reality behind Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, and the pressure that could strip them of everything they once depended on. This is Star Spotlight, bringing you truth, intrigue, and untold royal drama. Like this video, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe for more royal stories.